إن الحمد لله جل مجده وعزم برهانه هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق والصلاة والسلام على شمس الهداية واليقين هو الذي جاء بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وعلى آله وأزواجه وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي صدق الله العظيم. Dear brothers in Islam, once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, the topic which I'm going to discuss with you is very interesting, and in fact, this is within the perspectives of our society, of our Muslim society, who are residing here in the United States or any part of the Western world. I have been asked by the organizers to speak on this issue which relates to modernity. Main thing is that the first question arises about that what is modernity and what are its challenges. In fact, modernity is a process of modernizing or modernization, and we all are having some kind of the challenges from this process of modernization, and there are the response from the Muslim world also, and only Islam is the religion which could successfully responded the different ideologies which emerged from the process of modernization or modernity. I personally believe that modernity is a religion like the other religions, and what I personally believe is that Islam is not having the challenge from the other religions. Islam is not having the challenge from Christianity. Islam is not having the challenge from Judaism. Islam is not having the challenge from Hinduism or any other religion, because all these religions have been defeated by Islam centuries before. The powerful ideology of Islam has defeated them. They cannot stand in front of the powerful ideologies of Islam, in fact of Tawheed of Islam, Risala and Nubuwah of Islam. They cannot stand. They do not have the strong premise to stand in front of Islam. So Islam does not have any challenge from Christianity or Judaism or any other religion. Islam is having the challenge from the process of modernity and atheism. These are the things which are giving us the challenge, and we are definitely fighting with them. Furthermore, I want to also explain you that all other religions other than Islam have also been defeated by modernity. Christianity has been defeated by modernity. You are living in the United States, I think for many decades, or many of you are born here in the United States. Did you see Christianity anywhere in the United States? You will not see it. I have been opportunity to visit many of the places, Christian dominated places, but I did not see Christianity anywhere. I did not notice that Christianity is affecting the lives of the individual, of the people. Yeah, individually, yes, individuals are exceptions, but the community, as in terms of the community, Christian community, you will not see any Christian community in terms of religious Christian community, because Christianity has already surrendered to modernity. What they say, what the present Christianity say, okay, you visit at least once a church in a week, and whatever you want to do, whatever you want to live your life according to your will, you are free. But at least you remain Christian. This is the notion of the present Christianity. At least you remain Christian. You come on Sunday to the church, and rest of your life you live according to your will. There is no embargo upon you, and there is no there is no religious obligation upon you, and no Christian is following any kind of the religious obligations upon him. But only there is one religion, and this is Islam, which says that you have to be Muslim. You cannot be a partial Muslim or partially a non-Muslim. You have to be fully Muslim. Udkhulu fi silmi kaffa. That you have to enter Islam completely. You have no your own will, that I will follow this thing of Islam, and I will not follow this thing of Islam, like the present Christian community. So that means all other religions have been defeated, but Islam stands firmly. And so there is the problem. Problem rises from this superiority of thought of Islam. And I'm sure that many of you have known about the two very distinguished thinkers in the West, Samuel P. Huntington and also Francis Fukuyama. They have given two books, and one of them is Clash of Civilization, written by Huntington, and it is one of the magnum opus of the present time. And also Fukuyama's one book is End of History and The Last Man. These two books are very important, where if you want to understand the present scenario of the world, that how the things are changing around us, and how we are facing the challenges from the dominance of the modern thoughts. If you want to understand them, you have to read these two books. That they will clear everything in front of you, why the different things are happening around us, why such kind of the challenges are being created intentionally in front of not only the Muslims. Yes, as I tell you, that Islam is the major component, major potential power, which is giving a challenge to the most modern Western thoughts. But others, no, there's no challenge from them, from the others. So you will read these two books, and then you will realize what Francis Fukuyama says in his End of History, that we are heading towards a unified universal civilization. They believe that they are now successful to build or to create a unified universal civilization. That means there will be one civilization throughout the world, and there will be one language, one culture, and this one language, one culture comes from Europe or from the West, and it is going to dominate the whole world. But what they believe, that we have all cultures, and almost all indigenous cultures have already died. I am coming from India, and I am seeing, I'm watching, I'm observing massive changes in our Indian culture. In my childhood, I never heard the Valentine Day. First time in the last few days that we are celebrating the Valentine Day. The jeans culture, the short dress culture was invisible in India. But even in remote areas, that we are seeing that such kind of the cultures is prevailing and people are adopting it. So that means somehow Fukuyama is correct, and he's right, that a universal Western civilization is taking shape, and all indigenous cultures and civilizations are dying slowly, because they do not have a proper ideology to counter the ideology of the West. I told you already that all ideologies or all isms have already been defeated by the West. And what are the factors which could easily bring some kind of changes among the people in the different indigenous cultures? And one of them is that the process of democracy, liberalism, feminism, and independent media. These concepts and these tools have done a very important, they played an important role in shaping this universal Western civilization throughout the world. Unfortunately, in the Muslim world, we are lacking a few of these things. The concepts which have been given by the West are definitely some into the persecuted community. Those communities who are persecuted for a long time, they are appealing. Those communities who were persecuted by the dictators, by the monarchs, absolute monarchies, of course, the concept of democracy is very much appealing to them. They are accepting such kind of the thoughts. Secondly, liberalism, liberty, freedom. This is a very beautiful slogan. I give you all freedom to do anything. So it appeals our mind. Your father, your mother does not have any say upon you. Your parents do not have any say upon you. So it appeals us. Your teacher does not have any appeal upon you. So it has the it is appealing, very much appealing. I remember one event when I was in Malaysia. I was asked by a local masjid to deliver Juma khutbah, and I remember the guideline which I received from the masjid management, and it was very strange. They wrote to me that you have to do only Amr bil Ma'ruf, but do not do Nahi Anil Munkar. In your khutbah, you have to only just do Amr bil Ma'ruf. Ask the people to do good things, but do not ask the people to refrain from anything. So this is the effect of the Western ideologies concept of freedom and liberty. That means you can say your words, but you cannot compel the people, cannot compel them. You cannot ask the people to refrain from such kind of the vices. It may be a vice in your attitude, but in his attitude is not a vice. So keep your ideology only up to you. This thought, this ideology has brought a massive change into our thoughts and in our ideologies. So what Huntington has written in his Clash of Civilization, he says that we have successfully defeated all kind of the isms. For example, Marxism, Leninism, Stalinism, all kind of the isms have been defeated successfully by the West. Communism has been collapsed. It was a very powerful ideology against the Western capitalism, but it has been defeated. So it overwhelmed the Western powers, the Western ideologues, and those who shaped this process. And then what they realized finally, that like the other isms which have been defeated by the West, Islam is also a synthetic ideology. They miscalculated it. It is a miscalculation from the Western ideologues who they believe that like the other isms, Islam is also an ism, or it is a synthetic ideology. And what do you know? What we know that all synthetic ideologies have been defended by their people. That means those who follow them, their followers. The followers of the synthetic ideology developed them. They have been developed by the human beings. They have been protected by the human beings. And when the human beings were unable to protect them, they vanished. They're defeated. But in term of Islam, it is totally different. They believe that Islam is also a synthetic ideology. It is being protected by the people. And if we are able to defeat them, we will be able to defeat Islam. It is a major, big miscalculation. Secondly, what happened? Huntington writes in his Clash of Civilization that in front of this shaping universal civilization, We have only one challenge, and this challenge is coming from Islam. If you read this book, this is not an anti-Islam book. No. The beauty of this book is that it is not anti-Islam, but its ideas are very dangerous. It is provoking the West to declare Islam and a potential enemy of the future. That means in your step, in the future, when you are going to take further steps, there is only one stumbling block, and it is only Islam. So as all other isms has been defeated for achieving our all goals, it is necessary that the last stumbling block, which is known as Islam, should also be defeated. And I again say, here is the mistake in their calculation, that they believed that Islam is also a synthetic ideology, as we could be able to defeat the other isms who were manufactured by the people, and then we defeated the people, their narrators, their ideologues, so it will also happen with Islam. And then the strange things happened in the world. Islam's main ideology was put on target, but there is something different. Like the other isms, Islam is totally different. It is not like the other isms. Islam protects its adherents and followers, and the thing is opposite into the other ideologies. The adherents protect the ideologies. Capitalism is protected, or is protected by the followers of capitalism. Capitalism does not protect its adherents. Or communism was protected by the communists. It does not protect communists. But in Islam, it is totally different, and it is opposite. Islam protects its adherents. Islam is the principle, and the community is subordinate to Islam. This is the miscalculation done by the West, or by their ideologues. So what happens when the problem comes upon us, or any kind of the problem falls upon us? We seek refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We try to become pious Muslims. We understand that our problems only can be solved when we go into the shelter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if a problem falls on a communist, he does not go to communism. There is no God of communism. Where will he go? He has to protect communism. He has to utilize all his possible powers to protect the ideology of communism to stay alive. But when problems stand in front of the Muslims, they seek the shelter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then they go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muslims then seek their refuge in Allah's mercy. And then they realize that we are missing the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why we are now in the problem. And if we want to overcome our problem, then we have to restore this guidance which we have forsaken. Then we realize the importance of the Quran and its message. When we are not in the problem, we give up. But when we are in the problem, we return back. Then we realize the importance of the guidance of the Quran. So when Islam was declared a foe or an enemy in front of this potential Western unified single civilization, then many things weird happened in the world. Many things problematic happened in the world. Muslims came under sheer criticism. Their actions came under sheer criticism. And then we realized that we have to restore ourselves, to restore our iman. And then there is a resurgence of Islam, an Islamic resurgence into the Muslim world. So this will continue. This will continue unless one ideology trims. This will continue. So now what should be our response? How to respond to this clash which is now emerging throughout the world? How to respond it? There are many things that we can do to respond this challenge. What I personally believe, I think we have to restore first two institutions in the Muslim world, and this is merit and justice. I do not have I plainly accept it that we lack the institutions of merit and justice in our countries, in our societies, in our institutions, and individually. It is my observation that how the West became the superpower. The reason is that I think they were successful to establish the institutions of merit and justice in their respective institutions. They were able to put the right person on the right position. We did not do it. And Islam advocates strongly about these two institutions, merit and justice. Quran is strictly standing for justice. Quran is not standing for law. It is standing for justice. I heard one sentence, I forgot the name of the person who told this one, but he was a Christian, and he said that Christianity stands for law while Islam stands for justice, and the spirit of justice is bigger than the justice of law. It is not easy to do justice against your son, what the Umar Radhiyallahu Ta'ala did. And it is not easy to put the right person on the right position. And amazingly, you will see the best example of the merit in the selection of the four pious caliph. The four pious caliph, Khulafa al-Rashidin al-Mahdiyyin. Amazingly, the four of them come from the Muhajirun. None of them from the Ansar. The first two caliph came from the Muhajirun. And then it did not happen that the Ansar said, two have already elected from the Muhajirun, so now let the two be elected from the Ansar. No. And more amazingly, these four pious caliph ruled the Muslim world from the land of the Ansar. This is the main thing is that. And do you think that the sacrifices of the Ansar were less than the Muhajirun? No. They were the great Sahaba among the Ansar. But no doubt, none stood equal to Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, and Ali. And based on this merit, these four people were selected Khulafa al-Rashidin one by one. So there was sacrifice. Of course, your sacrifice are outstanding. You will be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran has already said about it. As-sabiqun al-awwalun min al-muhajirin wal-ansar. Quran has already praised you. Your reward is established by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when it is a time to elect our leader, we will choose the best. We will choose the best. When the time is to give our chair to some person, so we will elect the best. And no doubt, the best were these four people among all the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. So the institution of justice and institution of merit is established from the day one by Islam, and we have destroyed it. The institution of merit has been destroyed in the Islamic world. The institution of justice has been destroyed in the Islamic world. And now we are suffering from this because of this. The wrong people on the right chair. And they have destroyed all institutions. And now we blame that we have been targeted, but we do not see our internal problems. We have to rectify it. This is the first remedy that we can overcome from the challenges. We have to rectify, we have to restore the justice and merit institutions at any rate if you want to overcome. The next thing is that al-Mu'mineen Sayyida Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, what is the deen? Rasulullah said, Ad-deenu al-mu'amalah. Dealings are the deen. Quran says, Awfu bil-ahad. Inna al-ahada kana mas'oola. I'm just quoting only one verse. Quran is full of this kind of the ethical teachings. Where are these ethical teachings in our lives? Taqi Usmani says that the religion, that the ibadat, the part of the ibadat of our deen is only 20%. Muamlat, dealings are 80% of the deen. And we have neglected them. We have neglected them. Our dealings are not Islamic. We promise, we do not keep them. We lie. What the Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wa qulu qawlan sadida. And I remember that former President Obama, when he spoke first time to the Muslim world in Qahira, he read this verse. He quoted this verse. Qulu qawlan sadida. Say right things. We lack them in our lives. Personally, I myself, I do not believe that I am following these commands of Islam. And we all can introspect us that how much we are fair in our dealings and in our akhlaq. What the Quran says, Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. You are the best example of the excellent morals. And what the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Innama bu'istu li'utammima makarim al-akhlaq. I have been sent to complete the excellent moral values. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did in his life. Do you think that he changed the world without his morals and without his akhlaq? The worst community of Arabia, the most ignorant people, became the most ethically elevated people within the 23 years. This is the one of the greatest mu'jiza of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of my non-Muslim friends, he was criticizing some actions of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then I asked, from your perspective, okay, let's say there are some problems in the action of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From your perspective, can you give me a single example in the life of any of the reformers who could change the entire community within his lifetime? He stood alone. And when he left, the Arabs were one of the most civilized people. Those who were one of the most uncivilized people. Only in the life of the 23 years. What was this? What was the magic? Magic was of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's akhlaq. His dealing with the people, about which the Quran says, Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. What about our anger? Quran says, Kazimin al-ghayz wa'afin anin nas. You are the people who control your anger. Today, we realize our internal situation, our mental situation, our agonies. Are we perfectly following the verse of the Quran? Do we control our anger? And I want to tell you that if you want to counter the challenges, we have to be the perfect Muslims. What the Quran says, udkhulu fi silmi kaffa. Enter in Islam completely. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. And do not follow the footprints of the Iblis. So these are the things which are very important. We have to bring the changes in our society and individually. The next thing is that our individual interaction with our non-Muslim brothers and sisters. This is important. I'm telling you, individual interaction. Here in the United States, I am sure that each of you will be having the the relationship, any kind of the friendship or relationship with many of the non-Muslims. What is our response with them? What is our action with them? Have we ever invited them to Islam? Individually. I'm not talking about the what our organizations doing on the mass scale. No. What is our individual responsibility? Individually, all of us are da'i. Individually, we have to prepare to invite the people towards Islam. And how? By our moral conducts, by our fair dealings. Knowledgeably, possibly, all of us are not so perfect that we can argue with them on the principles of the religion. But no doubt, even the most ignorant person can be the best person with his action and akhlaq. So individually, it is our responsibility. Those people who are coming in our connection, they should be attracted by us because of our dealings and our akhlaq. And also, we must read as much as possible. We must increase our knowledge. We must read. We must develop the habit of reading. We should not remain with the half-cooked knowledge. This is very dangerous. Half-cooked knowledge is very dangerous. So we have to update. You have to update yourself only on single topic, on single issue, which you believe that is came in your contact. Any issue which is coming in your contact, you have to be updated about it. Do not remain ignorant about it. Do not keep half-cooked knowledge about it. For example, just I give you an example that some person asks you in India. I think if somebody is from India, you know that triple talaq issue was a very big issue now in India for the last few months. So each non-Muslim Hindu was talking about it, but we were still ignorant about it. We were not trying to update us on the issue of triple talaq. What is triple talaq? We are not ready to read it. And when the questions are coming in front of us, they were creating more confusion in our mind and brain. We are ready to hear, to listen from the others, from the other sources, but we are not ready or to learn from our own sources. We are not ready to interact with our people. What the Quran says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That ask from the people of the knowledge if you do not know. Alhamdulillah, we are surrounded with the ulama, but we are not ready to sit in their companionship, in their company, and we are not ready to talk and discuss on these topics. Or those who have good knowledge, they are not ready to read further or to strengthen their knowledge, to respond them properly. So individually, we have to update us on single issue, make us perfect on single issue which is affecting us most, and convey it to our non-Muslim brothers to eradicate their confusion. Do not remain ignorant or silent. Be responsive. And the next thing is that do not think negative. This is the most dangerous thing. Thinking negative is very dangerous. When you see something negative in your surrounding, Do not think negative about it also. For example, I just give you one example. Uh, an issue of the burning of the copies of the Quran. We heard that some people tried to burn the copies of the Quran. And when we heard this news, many Muslims became angry, many became frustrated. And when I heard this one, Alhamdulillah, I was not angry and I was not frustrated. And my words was that this is the victory of Islam. When ideologically you are unable to defeat Islam, then you have left nothing except to show your lunacy. That you came now to burn the copies of the Quran. Have you ever heard a Muslim burning the copies of the Bible? No. I said the same thing to my fellow people who are complaining this. I said, we are able to burn many copies of the Bible in retaliation. But we will not do it. Because ideologically we are not weak. Ideologically we are very powerful. And this is the frustration of those people, that they are failed on ideological basis against Islam. When I heard that a lady became imam, I was not frustrated. I said, this is the maximum height of the frustration of the anti-Islamic powers. They want us to indulge in such kind of the vague discussions. And Islam is enough powerful to defend its ideologies. Do not worry about it. Just do positive. Think positive, even the things emerging negative in front of you. Do not be frustrated. Quran is sufficient. Quran, ideology of Islam is sufficient to protect itself. You do not need to worry about it. نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون. We have sent down this revelation. We are protecting it. We will protect it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the guarantee of the protection of the ideology of the Quran. Burning of the copy of the Quran doesn't matter. You are able to do retaliation by burning thousands of Bible, but you are not going to do it. You have heard that many people are saying many nonsense words about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you will never utter a single word against Jesus or Mary or any other personalities of the other religions. Because Islam has made you very much powerful intellectually and ideologically. So think always positive. Do not bring the negative thoughts in front of you. So these are the things which will be able to make you capable to counter these kind of the challenges. And the last thing is that I would like to conclude now. The last thing is that propagation of Islam, of course. Propagation of Islam, inshallah I will. Yes. Yeah, correct. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So the thing is that the last thing which I was going to discuss is that the propagation of Islam in the proper way. How to spread the message of Islam. As I told you, that individually our responsibility lies in our action and by updating our knowledge, and on the community basis, that our organizations, whatever are they doing, our societies and organizations are doing to propagate Islam is not enough. We have to continuously look into this process of propagation of Islam, to review it and to bring the changes in our approaches, and on the organization level, that we have to think that how better we can do. This is a continuous process and we have to do it. So just I would like thank you very much that you give me your time, and whatever I could, because I was given that I had to speak 45 minutes and I had taken I think more than 45 minutes. Yes. This is something very political. Of course, I told already that not only in Saudi Arabia, we cannot say only Saudi Arabia, every Muslim country is suffering from it. Mm, yeah. No, so what do you think, that they are able to give something good to Islam or Muslim community? Is it their action are benefiting Islam or Muslims? Yeah. Justice. Yes. This is already defeated. I told this is already defeated. No merit and no justice is implemented in any of the Muslim world. It is no. There is no justice. There is no merit. This is the thing. This is our problem. Just telling you, yes. Yeah, yes. Postmodernism is the effect of the modernism. That means, for example, feminism or freedom. These these terms are coined, and then what the effect of this term is falling on the societies. That means how the modern societies are receiving them, how the concept of liberty, how the concept of freedom has been accepted by the societies within the last 50 or last 100 years or more than years. This is the process of postmodernism. Yes, that how they have been accepted, how they have been implemented, how they have been responded by the people that who are following them, or who are just that means the adherents of such kind of the ideologies. For example, the followers of the feminism, for example, when they began this process, and what is the effect of this process, this come under the process of the postmodernism. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, please. Yeah. Yes. It is a very good question. Yeah, he told me that in his question was that the institutions of merit and justice are failed, so how to restore them on our organization level, local basis. Yes. uh, yeah, this is a very good question, but also it depends on the situation, on the local situation. That means the body of the institutions, that how the body of the institution is drafted, those who the people who are in the institutions, in the body of the institution, in their management. Definitely, first they have to they have to develop the sense of sacrifice. First of them, justice, merit can only develop when we have the sense of sacrifice. That means I have to sacrifice first myself, as when you see that in the selection of the Khulafa Rashidin, when Umar radiallahu ta'ala developed the six people, he made a body of six people. So three people immediately surrendered their claim to be the Khalifa. So First, we have to realize that in our body, who is the best among all of us? Until now, we do not have this sense. We do not have a sense of sacrifice uh, to to believe that someone is better than us. Until then, this is not going to happen. Yes, it can only happen with the spirit of sacrifice. Yes. Yeah. Of course, this is the basic fundamental of Islam. Yes, taqwa is the basic fundamental of Islam. So it does not need to remind even. Yes. So this is the thing. Yeah. 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 In the beginning of my lecture, I told that I believe that modernism, or I believe personally believe that it has shaped a form of a religion. In my personal belief, that means it is like an ism, like the other isms. So, and now in the present scenario, that means all the things which are happening in our modern societies, they are the offshoot of this process. So, whatever is happening in the latest period, these all are the offshoot of the modernism or the process of modernity. So, uh, if you want me, if you give me some things very clear to distinguish or to make the difference, then I can make. But you are saying that what is the latest? So I can only say all the things which are emerging today, presently, they all are the offshoots of the modernism or the process of modernity. Yes. In my last, concluding remarks, I told until one of them triumphs. This is a war. This is a struggle. This is a war of supremacy. This is a war of supremacy has been imposed on Islam. So until one of them triumphs, it will continue. It is not going to stop until one triumphs. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Retaliation. Retaliation. It is not against the burning of the Quran. This retaliation is not against the burning of the Quran. It may be also, but this is against the inhumanity, the inhuman actions. When you hear that somebody is talking to boycott the Israeli products, that means they are trying to boycott the inhuman action of the Israeli forces against the Palestinians. This is simple. Yes. Okay, Jazakallah khair kasira. Thank you very much that you have given me your time. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.